Hi Reds, the countdown is finally on. Manchester United are just days away from the opening Premier League fixture of the 2026-27 campaign, and all eyes are now firmly fixed on the MKM Stadium, where Michael Carrick's side will face Hull City on Saturday, August 22nd. The match represents the beginning of a hugely important new chapter for the Red Devils. There is a real sense of excitement around Old Trafford at the moment, but alongside that excitement comes one major concern: injuries. United have several players either ruled out, recovering from long-term problems, or facing late fitness tests ahead of the trip to Hull. Carrick has spent the summer trying to build a competitive squad capable of challenging on multiple fronts. But the injury situation means the manager could already be forced into some difficult decisions before the first competitive ball of the new campaign is kicked. One of the biggest concerns heading into Saturday is Mason Mount. Mount picked up a foot problem during Manchester United's pre-season clash with Paris Saint-Germain. The encouraging news is that Mount has been progressing and has returned to some light training. However, United are understandably taking no unnecessary risks with the England international. At this stage, Mount should therefore be considered a major doubt for Hull City. A starting position looks unlikely, although if his recovery continues positively, a place on the substitutes bench could still be possible. And this raises an interesting question for Carrick. Does he take even the smallest risk with Mount, or does he simply leave him out and give him another week to recover? Personally, I would not take the gamble. This is only game one of a long Premier League season. Mount needs to be completely comfortable before returning, especially considering his injury history. There is absolutely no reason to turn a minor foot problem into another lengthy absence. Benjamin Šeško is another major absentee for the opening weekend. The striker has been working his way back from his serious shin problem, and while his return to first-team training is certainly encouraging, he missed the majority of Manchester United's summer preparation. That lack of competitive match fitness is a huge factor. Reports ahead of the Hull fixture indicate that Šeško will not be involved. The priority is to make sure the striker is fully prepared before throwing him into Premier League action. And Reds, this is particularly important because Šeško was brought to Manchester United to be a major attacking weapon. United have invested heavily in his future, and nobody wants to see him rushed back simply because the first Premier League match has arrived. His absence means Carrick will need another solution at the top end of the pitch. Bryan Mbeumo has impressed during pre-season and could again have an important role, while Matheus Cunha gives United another mobile attacking option. Marcus Rashford's return also gives Carrick another attacking weapon to consider. Could United cope without Šeško against Hull? Absolutely. But over the longer term, United need their new striker fit and firing. The Reds will want to see Šeško leading the line as soon as he is genuinely ready. Lisandro Martinez is another name that needs careful monitoring. The Argentine defender's fitness has been one of the major talking points surrounding United during the build-up to the new campaign. Recent reporting has indicated that Martinez has been back around first-team training and working toward full fitness. That is a huge boost for Carrick. However, whether Martinez is ready to play a full Premier League match is a completely different question. Coming back from a serious injury requires patience, and the medical team will be looking at his workload, sharpness, physical condition, and ability to handle competitive intensity. My opinion: if Martinez is not 100%, don't rush him. United have Lenny Yoro, Harry Maguire, and other defensive options who can help Carrick get through the opening fixture. The season is a marathon, not a sprint. But when Martinez is fully fit, his return could be enormous for this Manchester United side. His aggression, passing range, ability to defend forward, and personality could give Carrick exactly what he needs at the heart of the defence. Matthijs de Ligt remains another major concern. The Dutch defender has been dealing with a long-term back problem and has been out for an extended period. The positive development is that he has returned to grass-based work, giving supporters hope that his comeback is moving in the right direction. However, grass training does not automatically mean a player is ready for Premier League football. De Ligt still needs to build his physical condition, complete higher intensity training, and demonstrate that his body can handle the demands of competitive football. Therefore, the Hull City match is expected to come too early for him. Manuel Ugarte represents the most serious midfield concern in terms of availability. The midfielder is expected to miss the Hull City fixture and a significant portion of the campaign while recovering from his serious knee injury. If Ugarte is unavailable for a prolonged period, it puts even more pressure on Manchester United's midfield recruitment. That is one reason the club's reported interest in players such as Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton and Brighton's Carlos Baleba is so significant. United don't simply need another midfielder for the sake of it. They need players who can add physicality, defensive protection, energy and control to Carrick's midfield. And that brings us nicely to the transfer situation. Manchester United are continuing to monitor Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton, according to the report from The Sun. Wharton is believed to be high on Michael Carrick's midfield shortlist as United continue looking for further reinforcements. From my perspective, this makes complete sense. United need midfielders who can protect the defence, but also play forward with confidence. Wharton has attracted significant attention because of his composure, passing ability and potential. But the question is whether Palace would actually be willing to sell at a price United consider reasonable. Would you Reds take Adam Wharton at Old Trafford? And more importantly, would you rather United sign Wharton or go all in for Carlos Baleba? That debate could become one of the biggest stories of the final days of the transfer window. There is also potentially huge news surrounding Carlos Baleba. Brighton could reportedly consider offers in the region of £60 million to £65 million for the midfielder, despite previously valuing him at more than £100 million. Manchester United have monitored Belaba for more than a year, while Newcastle are also interested. If that reported valuation is accurate, this is a situation United simply have to investigate. A £60 million to £65 million deal would be dramatically different from the enormous valuation previously associated with Belaba. The Cameroonian midfielder possesses the physical profile that United could badly use. He can cover ground, compete physically, and give the midfield greater athleticism. Imagine a United midfield with Belaba providing the defensive power while Bruno Fernandes operates further forward, and Yuri Tielemans brings his passing and experience. That could be very interesting. But would Brighton really sell for £60 million to £65 million? And would Belaba actually choose Manchester United if Newcastle also make a serious move? Those are the questions Ineos and Carrick must answer quickly. Now let's talk about the biggest transfer story surrounding Manchester United at the moment. Bruno Fernandes. United have made their position extremely clear. Bruno Fernandes is not for sale. Galatasaray are reportedly preparing a major financial proposal, including a lucrative 4-year contract for the Portuguese midfielder. But United are not looking to negotiate his departure. A reported release clause has also expired, meaning the situation is no longer as simple as triggering a clause and taking the player away from Old Trafford. This is exactly the stance I believe Manchester United should take. Bruno is not just another midfielder. He is the captain, the creative heartbeat of the team, and one of the most important leaders in the dressing room. So why would United sell him now? They shouldn't. And the biggest positive is that Bruno has not indicated that he wants to leave. Galatasaray may be willing to offer huge money, but United need to think beyond the transfer fee. Who replaces Bruno Fernandes? Where do you find another player who can immediately provide his creativity, leadership, goals, and assists? It would be extremely difficult. For me, Bruno stays. Marcus Rashford is another major storyline, Barcelona remain in contact with Rashford's representatives and are exploring the possibility of bringing the England international back to the Nou Camp. However, the current expectation is that Rashford will remain a Manchester United player. Rashford has already returned to the squad following his extended break, and Carrick has publicly spoken positively about his potential contribution. Harry Maguire has also backed Rashford and described him as a major asset for United. And Reds, this could be one of the most fascinating stories of the entire season. Can Michael Carrick get the best out of Marcus Rashford? Because if he can, United have suddenly gained another potentially devastating attacking weapon. Rashford has pace. He has Premier League experience. He knows how to score goals. He knows the pressure of playing for Manchester United. The question is whether Carrick can create the environment where Rashford feels confident, trusted, and dangerous again. Personally, I would keep him. At his best, Marcus Rashford can change games.